Game Time with Boomer Esiason. This week's guest is last year's NHL scoring king and a rare number one pick in the NHL Draft, Auston Matthews.
Today's guest has been called a pioneer, a trailblazer, and an outlier. He hails from that noted hockey hotbed of Scottsdale, Arizona. He trained on ice that's 1/3 the size of a normal rink, and rather than play major junior hockey or college hockey, he turned professional and played in Switzerland. And it's my pleasure to welcome Toronto Maple Leafs center Auston Matthews to the show. Auston, great to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Boomer. Thank you for having me.
Now, you had off-season wrist surgery. How is the wrist? And you guys are off to a great start, but how are you doing?
Yeah, the wrist feels good. It took me a little bit to kind of get back into form. I think just getting my strength back and everything was a bit of a work in progress. But I mean, it feels great. I feel like I'm pretty much back to normal. Feels like it was when I was healthy. So I couldn't ask for any more than that.
Hey, I was going to ask you, did you see the Trevor Zegras and the Sonny Milano goal that they pulled off with the Ducks?
Yeah, I did. That was that's going to be a hard goal to beat for goal of the year. That was pretty incredible.
I'm just thinking, would that be something like you and Mitchie Marner would try to pull off up there, or would Sheldon O'Keefe go crazy if you tried that?
He's all about creativity and stuff, so I'm sure he wouldn't be too mad about trying that, especially if we were able to pull it off. But I think it's just the situation you got to be in is kind of has to align with what you're trying to do, and it obviously did for those two guys, and they executed it pretty nicely. So hats off to them.
You know, the Leafs were one of the first teams to play against the Islanders, my son-in-law's team. You know Matt very well, as he played with you for 2 years down at the Belmont Arena. What'd you think of the new arena down here on Long Island?
It's pretty nice. It's still, I think it's still a little bit unfinished, a bit of a work in progress, but the whole thing, it's beautiful. Once it's fully done and fully going, I think it's going to be a really exciting place to watch a hockey game, and it's always a great atmosphere in there playing as well.
I always wonder, what you guys say to each other on the ice. And, my son-in-law was with you when you were a rookie up there in Toronto, and now he's back home with the Islanders. Any interesting conversations between the two of you guys when you see each other?
Not really. I think he told me he'd let me knock him out at center ice if I bought him a Rolex one time. But other than that, I think, we kind of keep it pretty professional out there and just kind of do our jobs. But he's a scary man. He can really lay the body out there. So I just try to keep my head up if I'm out there against him.
Yeah, very smart. I would definitely advise you to do that. We're just getting warmed up with Auston Matthews. Stay with us as Game Time continues right after this. All right, welcome back to Game Time. Auston Matthews' father, Brian, recalls that his son had a very big grin on his face the first time he skated at age 6. I remember seeing that smile, he said, and thinking, dang, this is going to be an expensive sport. And it turned out to be an expensive sport, but it certainly paid off. So your dad and your uncle took you to see the Coyotes when you were 2 years old. Now, according to your dad, you were more interested in the Zamboni than the actual players. Is that true? Can you remember that?
Yeah. That's true. I remember I had a bit of an infatuation with the Zamboni growing up for some reason. I don't know why, but early on, I guess, I don't know, I was too young to really realize exactly what was going on. I just liked the truck, that I called it, that was out there wheeling around on the ice.
So your dad played baseball at Loyola Marymount College. He said that you are a very gifted hitter, a very good baseball player. Why hockey over baseball?
I think it was just, that was kind of my passion. I really enjoyed baseball, but I just liked the fast pace of hockey. It was just kind of always my number one passion. But, it was really fun for me and my dad to just kind of bond over that, with him having played baseball and him being able to kind of teach me everything and show me the ropes. It was really fun and a really fun experience for us to just go through together. But I think deep down, I think both my parents would admit that they always kind of knew that hockey was my number one passion, and eventually baseball would kind of come to an end.
I was sure ice is hard to come by in Scottsdale, Arizona, no matter what time of year it is, but I would think the summer would be the hardest. I'm just thinking about, I was reading you used to go to a place called Ozzy's Ice. And what was Ozzy's Ice like? What did it look like? And was it a full-size rink? And was there a hockey league there? Or what was it, what did you get out of working out there?
Yeah, so Aussie Ice was that rink you're referring to. It's like probably 1/3 of an actual regulation ice rink. And it was like 2 sheets back to back, pretty small place, but they had like a little gym and stuff. So I grew up playing a lot there. It was just 3-on-3 and kind of a small area space. So you just kind of had to make, I guess, quicker decisions, really kind of stick handle through guys and stuff. And the game's kind of a bit quicker. And I did a lot of training there growing up. Spent a lot of time there. Unfortunately, they closed down and it's now a rock climbing facility. But I spent a lot of hours at that rink working on skating, stick handling, everything. And I had a blast. I had some really good memories there.
A lot of American kids are going to be watching this interview. You're very, very popular in our country, obviously. And you went to Donnie Granato's U.S. National Development Team in Michigan. And to go there, number one, you have to be selected to go there and be good enough to go there. But you also have to make a serious commitment. Like, what would you tell kids that want to follow in your footsteps and trying to get into a program like that?
It's a big commitment. And it definitely helped me in so many different areas, just becoming more of a professional and in my development for hockey. But I have this conversation with people all the time, honestly, and I don't think it really matters where you go or where you play. Like, I think if you're good enough and you're committed and you have fun and really work at the things that make you great, then no matter where you play, I think you have a chance and an opportunity to make it. But fortunately for me, the NTDP was just a great stepping stone for me to go and be around 22 of the other best players of my age group in the country and practice every day and compete and have fun and just build a special bond. And on top of that, you're representing your country. So, I had an amazing 2 years there, and I definitely credit that program to a lot of the success that I've had in my career.
You chose not to go to college. You chose not to go play in the Western Hockey League. You went and played in Switzerland, of all places, Zurich, and you became a pro at a very young age. What was that experience like?
It was pretty eye-opening, honestly, but it was a lot of fun. It was a bit of a headache, that summer, just kind of trying to figure everything out. A lot of hoops to kind of jump through, but the experience I had over there, the relationships, friendships, the people that I met, and the hockey that I was able to experience and able to play was unbelievable. And if I had to do it all over again, I would.
All righty, we'll return more with Auston Matthews right after these messages. All right, when the Maple Leafs made Auston Matthews the first overall draft pick back in the 2016 NHL Draft, expectations were high in hockey-crazed Toronto. The 19-year-old phenom didn't disappoint. He scored a record 4 goals in his NHL debut, and I got to believe, Auston, it couldn't have gone any better for you that night.
Yeah, the only thing that could have gone better is if we won the game, unfortunately. But, it was a dream come true just to play. And, I always tell people, it's hard for me to recall stuff because it was just such a crazy swirl of emotions that whole night with everything that went on. But, it was pretty special.
Yeah, I'm sure you know just how hockey-crazed Toronto is. I'm not sure you knew what you were getting yourself into when you first got picked there, but I was on a trip in Montreal with my own hockey team, and one of the guys on my hockey team is from Canada. You were the first pick that night. He was crying. I don't think I've ever seen him cry, but that showed me the passion of the Toronto hockey fan.
Yeah, I noticed it right away from the second I got drafted, honestly, and it was really eye-opening when I kind of stepped foot in the city, and you get recognized going places and people stopping you and stuff, and that's kind of when I really realized, okay, this is this is for real. Like, these people really, really love hockey. And, I feel really fortunate to play in a place that fans and people are so passionate about the team and really love the players and want to see us succeed. Even with all the craziness and the media and all that stuff, I think it's just, you just kind of take it in stride. But I feel really lucky to play in such an amazing city.
What's it like playing with John Tavares? When he signed and left the Islanders, the people.
A guy with his level of experience. He's been a captain in the league before. First overall pick. So I think kind of bringing him here, it's obviously helped the team with just how incredible a player he is, a great leader. The welcome home he got back going to New York was something I've never seen him, and he's helped me in a numerous amounts of way. Just the way he approaches the game and how professional that he is, just in his everyday work and his work ethic and stuff. So he's a great guy to have on your side, that's for sure, and we're really happy to have him in Toronto.
I know things haven't gone everything, the way you want it to go. And I think everybody expected you guys to win a Stanley Cup championship here somewhere along the line, and things haven't gone that well. As a matter of fact, your general manager, Kyle Dubas, compares your situation to that of the Boston Red Sox, where, there was always something that got in the way of the Red Sox until they finally won with Theo Epstein as their general manager. You feel something along those lines that maybe this year could be the breakthrough year for you guys?
Yeah, we definitely have that belief in our locker room. Like you said, we obviously haven't met the expectations that we've set for ourselves and that other people have set for our team and our club. But there's a sense of belief in our room, no matter what happens, and an unwavering belief within our organization. And obviously getting the confidence from your coaches, your general managers, president, owner, in our group. That's all we feel we really need. So we've got a great team. It's still early in the season, but obviously we just try to get better every single night, every single game. And, we're obviously expecting big things from ourselves this year.
Earlier, we mentioned that Auston's uncle had taken him to his first Coyotes game. Unfortunately, Billy Matthews passed away in his early 30s without getting to enjoy watching his nephew light up the league. And Billy fell victim to the ravages of a disease called cystic fibrosis. And to honor his memory, Auston has become involved with Toronto's Hospital for Sick Children, better known as Sick Kids. And, Auston, you know this. You and I have something in common, unfortunately. Your uncle Billy passed away from CF. My son Gunnar, at the age of 30, has CF. Did your uncle ever talk to you about the disease and tell you what he was dealing with?
I was so young, and I never really had a chance to talk to him about that. Unfortunately, he passed when I want to say 3 or 4 years old. So, but him and my dad were super close. They were best friends growing up. And so I kind of know everything that, he kind of went through, and just how, just how bad it was going through that, and just all, the emotional roller coaster for, my family, my dad, and Billy himself. So, I feel really fortunate. You kind of think things kind of happen for a reason, and being drafted in Toronto, we, built a relationship with Sick Kids almost immediately, and was able to go in there and visit kids, not just who had CF, but, other diseases, cancer, etc. So, it's awesome to be able to make an impact and just kind of put a smile on kids' faces and make their day, and just kind of get to know different people. So I feel really fortunate for that. And now we have a box actually that they bring families and kids from Sick Kids for, I believe, half of the home games that I have the box for. So they bring kids from there, and they come and they enjoy the game. And pre-COVID, we'd meet after and take some pictures and just kind of chat. But unfortunately now, not able to do that. But it's still fun for them to come and watch and enjoy the game.
Well, I certainly appreciate that part of your life. And, NFTs, now you're going to have to explain this to me, because I don't understand all of these non-fungible token things. And I'm sure the people in the audience who are older than me don't understand it. I can guarantee you that. So they're the hot collectibles these days. Now, you had an NFT that you created for sale on OpenSeas to benefit cystic fibrosis. Exactly what is this?
Like you said, it's a non-fungible token. It's kind of like digital art, I suppose. But when it kind of started taken off a little bit. I kind of had some interest in it. And so I was able to create it and obviously give back to a great cause. And I don't know if I'll maybe be doing more in the future. As of right now, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break from it. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun for the time being. And we'll just kind of see where it goes from there.
We'll be back to continue our chat with Auston Matthews in a moment. All right, we're back with Auston Matthews, who is on the cover of NHL Video Game for the second time in his young career. Actually, there are two different editions of NHL 22, and Auston appears in his hockey gear for one cover and then the casual look on the other side. Now, you're sort of a fashion icon in the NHL. What is it about your fashion that makes you a little bit different than everybody else?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's just something that I'm into. I like clothes. I like style, and I like to express myself and maybe kind of hover the line. Maybe cross the line a little bit with things I like to wear. Maybe a little bit exuberant, but the NHL's kind of got a bit of a dress code with the suits and stuff, but outside of the rink, I like to just wear what makes me happy, and if that means wearing different things that maybe not everybody likes or wears, it doesn't really bother me. I just kind of wear what makes me happy.
Hey, you being from Phoenix, do you think the Coyotes can make it there, Auston, or do you think they'll have to move, or do you think they'll get a new building?
Yeah, I do think they can make it there. Honestly, I think the building is a big part of it, and maybe moving into a bit of a better location would really help that situation quite a bit. But I mean, biasly being from there and growing up and them being the reason that I got into hockey, of course I'd want them to stay there and be successful. But at the end of the day, it is a business, but I'm hoping that it all works out.
I know you're proud of your Mexican heritage from your mom's side, and this year next year the Stadium Series is going to be in Nashville. Do you see yourself ever lobbying Gary Bettman that maybe, just maybe, you guys could play a game in your mom's home country of Mexico, or no?
I've been asked this question a couple times, and I think, even playing a preseason game or something like that out there would be a blast. Just going down there for 4 or 5 days and experiencing the culture, and then in the end, just having a preseason game and being able to showcase the sport of hockey that isn't very popular down there to an abundance of people, I think would go a long way, and it would just be an incredible experience for everybody involved.
How about a Stadium Series against the Coyotes, the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Coyotes? Where could they play it in Arizona?
I don't know. You might have to take it a bit north where it's a bit colder. It's pretty warm in the wintertime even. So I don't know, maybe up in Flagstaff or somewhere up there. But that would be pretty fun. I like where you're going with this.
Have you fantasized about holding the Stanley Cup at center ice there up in there in Toronto?
Oh, absolutely. It's hard not to, just with how incredible this fan base is and how passionate they are, and what it could be like, and that's obviously the goal that we're all working toward.
So, Auston, has your NHL career thus far lived up to your expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you learn a lot, and it's not all you go through highs and lows, and it's not all pretty, but I mean, you wake up every day, and I thank God I'm fortunate. I'm doing what I've always wanted to do and living out my dream. And you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, but I just try to always remember and keep in the back of my mind just how fortunate I am to be doing what I love and earning a living doing this. Because there's a number of other people that would love to be in this position, and I definitely don't take it for granted.
You know, you're a great ambassador for American hockey. I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. Auston, good luck to you, and thanks for joining us today. And to all of you out there for watching, I'm Boomer Esiason. I'll see you again real soon right here on Game Time with NBA immortal Dirk Nowitzki. You know, you look a little different without the mustache.
When I shaved it off, I kept double taking myself in the mirror because I couldn't recognize myself. So I think I might be bringing it back. I just think it's kind of who I am, and it's a part of me, like I said, but it was pretty nice kind of having the baby face for a little bit, but I think it's growing back.
I had a mustache in college, and when I took it off, I said, you know what? It's never coming back again.
Yeah.
I like the way this looks.